Hey everyone, my name is Philip Agib. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director at Vantree Systems. I'm super happy to be here with you today in this gorgeous afternoon. I know we're doing all of this virtually. I wish I could meet you all in person, but this is a great way for us to show you what we have to offer. Everyone that's using SAP Business One with Forgestik today. So I plan to go over a handful of slides and then jump into a short video to show you how our solution works. Does that work with you? Okay, let's jump right into it. Thank you. All right, so you might be an IT director, VP of finance, or operations leader in your organization. You've been working hard with the sales team to acquire new customers, with the account management team to service existing customers, implement new systems and processes to make sure everything runs smoothly, hire talented professionals with your HR team, and maybe source some new materials and innovate on new products so that you can remain competitive in the market. So you understand that there's a lot of room for improvement. No business is perfect. We all have big goals to go and get. We get it. So every industry, no matter what industry you're in, it could be food, it could be building materials, pharmaceuticals, automotive, furniture, retail, beauty supply, it doesn't matter. Everyone wants to strive for operational excellence. That is why you've invested in SAP Business One, or you're thinking of doing that. And so, as leaders, we know overcoming challenges isn't easy. There's always going to be something, whether it's rising cost of goods, supply chain disruptions, or just very ambitious growth plans. Things don't always work out the way we want it to go. So I think it's important to equip yourself with the right tools, with the right teams, so that you can reach these objectives. And so today, my plan is to go over, what are the top 3 strategic initiatives for 2024 for a lot of companies. This is based on a McKinsey report. And what they're seeing is that a lot of companies are investing in advanced technologies, of course, to help mitigate risk. So what does that mean? Obviously, you need to maintain momentum and be able to pivot quickly when some of these challenges come up. You also need to protect your profitability and really strengthen the core of the business. A lot of people are going from manual intervention of either data or processes to automation technologies and robotics and just IoT devices, depending on if you're in a manufacturing space, on a distribution space. Transportation is huge as well. And so really you just have to continue to broaden the knowledge and the technologies that you use and advance your capabilities. And that's what's going to allow you to enhance your efficiency in the business. So that's the number one strategy in 2024 for a lot of companies like yours. The second is implement a broad range of talent management strategies to reduce voluntary exits. So obviously we've been seeing a huge shift in the workforce with working remote, but also if you're in the manufacturing space or distribution space, there's a lot of initiatives that you can put in place, whether that's pay increases to make sure you compete with some competitive sectors, upskilling and reskilling to keep staff engaged and foster collaboration. Of course, there's also a big push with the diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy, so DEI, to expand the talent pool, and of course, flexible work environments, making sure that the workplace, and the workforce are focused on the well-being and the flexibility for your staff. And the last one, especially in our industry, is putting in place mitigation strategies to achieve supply chain assurance. We've seen a lot of disruptions over the last 3 years. It's been kind of crazy, but relationship management with your supply chain is going to be key. That's where we can come in and help. So working closer with your supply chain partners to navigate disruptions, building redundancy in the supply chain to meet requirements with customers, broadcast locally to increase the vertical integration, leverage provincial and federal grants to expand locally, eliminating that risk in case of supply chain disruptions, and obviously implementing some digital technologies, with regards to EDI, API to, integrate a little bit more with your supply chain for better visibility and quicker processing of data. So, in the supply chain, I'm sure most of you know what EDI and API is. EDI is electronic data interchange. It's what 90% of business-to-business transactions in the supply chain. That's the data that's flowing between all of these organizations. So that's from suppliers to manufacturers, to distributors, and even some of the larger organizations, like if you think of Amazon, they're also working still on the EDI standard to exchange data. And so 90% of those are doing EDI, but by 2025, we're seeing a little bit of a shift from EDI to API. The reason is because customers want things quicker, and so do companies. So Amazon, for example, will have a dropship program fulfilled by a vendor that will be an API connection because they need their suppliers to be able to maintain that same level of speed of exchange with their customers. But if it's stocking Amazon warehouses, that's done through EDI. So you see, customers and suppliers need to be able to navigate through both, and that's where we come in. So we help companies be able to receive those kinds of types of data and process them into SAP Business One seamlessly. And so, what are the benefits of doing that? Well, obviously, less manual data intervention. You don't have to manage different portals, punch things in twice inside of your system. In the long run, what does that mean? Quicker order to cash cycles. So you can process your order quicker. You can send out your ASNs and shipment notices to your customers a lot quicker. And as soon as you do that, you're able to invoice. And if you can send an invoice out automatically, that's even better. So you can get paid faster. And so in a time where the cost of capital is very high, that's a very interesting value offering there. Obviously, increased data accuracy. So you're investing in SAP Business One. You want all your data to be accurate. So every time someone's manipulating any data manually, that can cause mistakes. That can cause frustration within the team, outside of your organization as well. And then if you're able to maintain data accuracy, you're able to do better reporting on inventory levels, on sales. And then I know we spoke about earlier how to retain staff. Well, no one wants to work for an organization who's stuck in the past. So by investing in these solutions, you're able to make the folks who work for you, their jobs a lot easier. And when you're able to do that, they'll stick around a lot longer. So these are some of the transactions that we can integrate inside of SAP Business One, some trading partners as well. So if you're doing business with any of these, we can definitely help you. Okay, so let's take a quick look at what it would take to import an order, send out an ASN, and also send out an invoice. But before I get started, I do want you to understand sort of how this solution works. So this is installed directly inside of your SAP Business One menu. So you could see that on the bottom left, Vantree EDI there. So the add-on is fully embedded inside of SAP Business One interface. It makes it super easy for you to import and export the data without leaving the interface, which is great. We talk about centralizing the tasks and the workflows for people. Doing it inside the ERP is the way to go. I'm going to show you how to do this sort of semi-automatically, but we have some automation features with validation rules that can help you process hundreds, if not thousands of documents a day, a week, a month. And we customize a solution for you to meet your requirements. A lot of people are always concerned about meeting the requirements of their trading partners. How do I meet the requirements of, let's say, Rona, Home Depot, Amazon? That's something that we absolutely do, but where we differentiate ourselves is by making sure it works for your business and for each of your departments. And so we'll take the time to personalize a solution for you there. Also, when it comes to error handling, we have a specific window that you can access to see if there's any documents that are in error and what's the reason for it. That'll prompt, obviously, some email notifications and alerts to your team and our team so that we can jump right on it if it's critical, that we can fix it right away. And of course, we provide also a 24/7 complimentary web portal so that you also see what your trading partners, what stage of the document or the transactions are at between you and your trading partner. So when we get those acknowledgements back, the status is update. And so it just allows for complete visibility on all of your transmissions. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. So I'm just going to jump out of this screen, open up this video, and I will let it play. And obviously, if you have any questions, don't be shy to post them in the chat. I'll be able to get to them right away. Thank you. Okay, so this is the EDI solution for SAP Business One provided by Vantree. So you can see here on the bottom left is the Vantree EDI tab. So fully embedded inside of the SAP Business One interface. So when you're getting those orders, we'll be able to view them over here, process them, and then generate an ASN in this case. And then from there, send out an invoice for that same order. Okay, so you have the EDI document management tab there. That's going to allow you to bring in all the inbound transactions that we handle. Okay, so those could be, they're mostly orders. Okay, so once we can click on that, you'll be able to see here on the first table the document type. So if it's an 850 or another type of transaction, there's a status filter that you can put there as well, reference number and who is it from, who is it going to. You also have the reference number that you can search here. So if you have hundreds of inbound documents, you're able to search and also filter by status from and to. And this is just a quick view of what has been ordered. So you can see here, this is the item number, the description, and you have some functionalities as well in case the prices don't match to be able to accept the EDI price instead of the SAP price. And you can also void some items as well on this view before importing it into your system. So in this case, this document wasn't able to be processed. There is an existing order, so it is unprocessed. So we're going to go ahead and process that now. There seems to be an error. So in this case, what's going to happen is they're going to just go into the properties, understand what's going on. In this case, the exchange rate isn't set for this time period. So just by putting that in and reprocessing it, you're able to do that. So obviously we can have these validations in place so that if you're doing 100 of these or 1,000 of these, it doesn't take a lot of manual data entry. And so this is now the process where we select the order, the delivery for the order, and we're able to generate a ASN. The ASN is also, the ASN builder module is also able to generate a UCC or SSCC 128 label. So this is required from a lot of trading partners who are receiving large pallets and large items. And then the last step of the process here is to select what document I want to export, select the document that I want to send out, and then hitting OK. And just like that, we were able to import an order and generate a ASN and then send out a invoice. So that's pretty much it. Obviously, we can get together and we can go into a more in-depth demo and personalize it for you. But for now, I just thought I would give you a sneak peek. Okay, so moving on now. So that's all very nice, but the reality is that only I think the stat is like more than 40% of those initiatives of implementing new systems, strategic initiatives, these things fail. Okay, they fail a lot more than we think. And so I think the key is that we need to learn from the mistakes of those organizations and understand what we can do better. So just sharing some statistics here. Number one issue, which accounts for 90% of failures, is technical issues. So obviously here you want to do your due diligence. You want to make sure that the solution fits for you. I think here is, don't rush it. So, with us, you can take absolutely all the time that you need. The nice thing is that we've worked with a lot of businesses like yours before. So we understand some of the things that they've done and that you might want to do, but at the same time, you're a different business and you operate differently. So take the time to make sure that everything works for you. That's probably one of the reasons why you decided to move off of your previous system, is because of a technical issue or something like that. The second thing is implementation costs. So in this case, it accounts for 37% of these failures. So I think the key thing here is to take the time to map out all of your processes and just be completely transparent with your partner. We'll take the time with the help of Forgestik to blueprint the processes, make sure they fit for you. We'll do a lot of testing. I mean, that's probably the number one thing in these implementations that we have to do, but it's important to determine what will determine a successful test and a failure of a test. And so setting those criterias in the beginning is very important. And a lot of people, what they do also is they invest in like a pilot. So they'll say, okay, let's start with one trading partner and see how that is, instead of, let's say, deciding to migrate all of them. And so taking that first trading partner, learning from that experience allows you to then do better going forward as we move down the campaign. The last one, it's not the last one, but the third one is no overall vision or strategy. That accounts for 25%. And I think for this one specifically, from experience, being doing this for the last 10 years or so, a lot of it has to do with lack of collaboration internally in an organization. So you'll have IT, who's usually leading these sort of initiatives when it comes to systems and implementing advanced technologies. But the reality is that these solutions impact everyone in the organization. And so getting together as an organization, all the leaders, and even involving the users in those organizations is critical, because again, we want to retain staff as well. And so another big sort of a hurdle that companies are facing these days is just the reluctance to change. Someone goes to a workstation one day, does things one way, they've been doing that for the last 5 years, and then the next day you're told that you have to do something completely different. It is a shock for someone. So involving as many people as possible early in the process and just getting all the requirements down and making sure you're communicating that to your partner, so that we can not only help achieve the leadership goals, but also the goals of every individual that's in those workstations. According to this report here, this graph, what we're seeing is that all respondents said that they think that coordination across business units is of the importance of 18%. Okay, and so in this case, what we're seeing from the other folks who are reporting successful automation efforts, the contributing factor when it comes to coordination across business units, the percentage of response is 49%. So half of the effort for a successful automation project is all about coordination across multiple business units. So I think that's a big stat. The funny thing is, the next one that brings you to approximately 60% is employee training and upskilling. So I think that says a lot about what we need to do together to succeed in these projects. And so I'll go to this report here, and it really just shows, same kind of on the left-hand side here. So all other respondents think that human in the loop solutions account for 24% think that that's the key. But then for those who have actually succeeded, we're seeing that it's 65%. So it's important to involve people across the entire organization for this to be successful. Okay, sorry, I just have a little puppy with me here that I am dog sitting, so he just fell off the chair. I'm going to put him back. There you go, buddy. There you go, Teddy. Relax. Okay, and then the graph on the right-hand side here, this one kind of shows the same message. And what it's showing is that in 2018, companies thought that resistance to change was about was the fifth priority when it comes to a successful automation project. And then over the 2 years following that, resistance to change becomes one of the top three priorities. And you can see that the top two are still the same. Process fragmentation, that's always hard to overcome. And then IT readiness. Okay, so I think the message with this is that you need to focus on the people as much as you focus on the technology. All right, so what does that mean? So I think the key here is that with a partnership with Forgestik and Vantree, you're getting the premier duo for EDI and API data integration inside of SAP Business One. And I think that by working together with our experience, and I'm happy to put you in touch with some references, you're able to reduce that risk and be sure to reach your objectives. All right, so what does that mean for you going forward? So I encourage you all to, and I'm sure you're doing this today. I just don't have a chance to actually get to know you, unfortunately, but explore cross-departmental needs. That's very important. Map out all the existing processes and identify the gaps. And then obviously, I think your biggest distractions are very solvable. So our advice is automate the easy stuff, and then allow powerful automation software to streamline the repetitive routine and mundane work. You're going to be a lot happier as a leader, and so will your team. I think everyone agrees that automation is really good for business, so don't be afraid to experiment. Designate an internal team if you have to within your organization to investigate the value that that can have on your business, and I'm sure you're doing that today. The other thing too is I think you have to identify and focus on the most critical business processes that you have. So if you're in the manufacturing space and in the distribution space, obviously distribution, it's all about customers, all about the costs. But on the manufacturing side, I know that a lot of the manufacturing machinery might be outdated, and so there's a lot of investment in the plants themselves. There's a lot of grants that you can leverage to meet those objectives. Happy to put you in touch with people if you'd like. So I think my advice here is pick an area in your business that you want to focus on, and I'm sure you're doing this with Forgestik. And if you ever need help on the supply chain side, EDI integration side, we're happy to help you there. Okay, yeah, and then the last point, I think it kind of touches here, leverage the expertise of Forgestik and Vantree. Leverage also the expertise of the leaders in all of your departments. So it's not just IT who's responsible of this. Get folks in finance involved, get folks in HR involved, get some feedback from them, sales, operations, logistics, warehousing. All departments are critical to the success of your project. So that's it, guys. I really appreciate your time. I welcome you to scan the QR code and book a time to chat with me. I would love to get to know your business, your goals a lot better, specifically what you're looking to achieve between now and 2025, 2030. And we do have a promotion until the end of 2023. If you could take advantage of it, great. If not, no big deal. Promotions always come back. And I just thank you for your time, attentiveness, and your understanding. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing day, and send those questions in the chat and I'll get to them right away. Thanks so much.